in there.
Oh, good evening, Frederick. That's weird for me to say, actually. Good evening, Frederick. But I'm Danny Gurry, coming to you live from Studio 401. We're at 401 North Market Street in downtown Frederick. Getting our last minute technical things going. Oh, I heard that. And I'm so excited to bring you our mayoral candidate for this election cycle. Here's Tom Trott.
Danny, thank you so much.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, we're good. Are you going?
I'm going.
You're good. Okay, I had to mute you so we didn't get any feedback. This is, live streaming. And we got Tom sitting here right in the window. So if you actually come on by 401 North Market Street and wave in the window, we rewarded someone on our show this morning, Tom. They got a free T-shirt for waving in the window when we were live on the air. So you can start your mayoral candidacy by giving away free stuff. How about that?
That sounds great. I remember sending you the picture when I wore my Good Morning Frederick T-shirt in Dunkirk.
That's right. That's right. You are now, you were the very first to send a photo of yourself wearing a Good Morning Frederick T-shirt overseas. And then my girlfriend sent one. She wasn't overseas, but she was at the Grand Canyon, which was awesome. So Good Morning Frederick is making the rounds all over the country and all over the world, which we love. But we're really, really focused, obviously, on Frederick. It's important to us. And you have thrown your hat into the ring to run for mayor. And we appreciate that, city residents, like a little bit of a challenge. And tell me a little bit about why you came to that determination.
Well, actually, it started about 8 months ago, and I was talking to my father about things that I wanted to see happening in Frederick. And at the time, he was not doing real well with cancer, and he ended up passing in May. But him and I had talked about things that we think could be improved upon.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's behind my campaign, and it's been inspiring for me, and really looking forward to taking the reins of the city and hopefully becoming our next mayor.
Yeah, look, and I mean, I think that it's always good to have a little competition, because I do think that keeps everybody on their toes, right? I'm a free market person. And so anytime you have more competition, it either makes you go the way the people want, or things change. All right. So I have a few questions for you, and then we're going to let you at the end do your kind of 5-minute spiel on why you should be elected mayor. First of all, tell everybody, well, obviously this election coming up right now is for city residents only. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
So just city residents will be able to vote.
Okay. And so if you're a City of Frederick resident, this is all for you. And if you're not, please listen anyway and pass the information along as you see fit. Okay. So Frederick is obviously growing rapidly. How are you going to balance smart development? This is what people say. They want development. They want things to come in, but they don't want it to be too chaotic. I think a lot of people feel like we're in the chaos right now. And how do you still preserve the city's unique historic character and small town feel? That's what everybody says about Frederick when I talk to them. They love the small town feel, but big city amenities.
Well, I'm on the board of Heritage Frederick and also Mount Olivet Cemetery. So I definitely am in tune with the history of our town. And what I've been seeing lately is development being done without a mile-high view. So new neighborhoods on the outskirts all have adequate roads in the neighborhood, but we're not looking above and seeing, okay, this is where our gridlocks is happening.
Right.
We definitely need to get more businesses in Frederick. I'd love to see a federal government or state government hub being put here. There's no reason we have so many people commuting to these federal facilities when they could actually be doing their work right out of a place in Frederick if they aren't going to be allowed to work at home any longer, or that isn't the best option. So
yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, anytime you can keep people closer to live, work, and play, obviously it makes everyone's lives better, and it alleviates, and I know this isn't the mayor's job, but that roadway from 15 to 270 to get to DC or Montgomery County. I just don't know how people do it. And I feel so bad for those people every single day.
And beyond that, just north, Frederick Health Hospital had a property that they were considering building the hospital on. And when we've looked at that project, the intersections are all failing for traffic. So I think we're going to need to look at other options up there. Maybe that is assisted living or hospice care, just different places that will not require the traffic that others would. I mean, I can't imagine somebody in an ambulance trying to get up 15 to get to a hospital.
Yeah, no. And a lot of people say on social media, and again, I'm not sure whose jurisdiction this falls under, but rather than building some of the things that have been coming in, they've been saying another hospital makes a lot of sense because Frederick Health seems, I don't know when the last time you were there. I hope not recently, but I was just there in January for my gallbladder and waited on a Saturday morning at 11 o'clock in a room waiting room. Only 11 other people were there when I got there, or 10. Still waited 6 hours. And I don't know how we fix that. No shade on Frederick Health, but I think that, again, competition keeps everybody on their toes. I'd love to see someone else come into the market. Is that something you feel like the mayor would have influence over?
Not so much. I think I love Frederick Health Hospital, and I'm excited about the expansion that they've had. There certainly are always going to be challenges.
Sure.
The hometown hospital is always the one that you point at.
Yeah.
But I've been very satisfied with the service that I've received there. But so I'll leave it to the experts.
That's right. Yeah, that's fair. Fair point. Fair point. All right. Everybody talks about traffic, I don't know, and parking. I think I read something recently that the city is going to go to all app parking. Have you heard about that? And what are your ideas about traffic and parking, especially downtown?
Well, my goal would be not to have meters because they just clog up the downtown, and there are apps that we can utilize and work through those. So it's something definitely to be studied more. I get really concerned when I see developments like the one going in on South Street, on West South, and then Patrick Street where the bowling alley and the shopping center was. I mean, I don't think they've set aside enough parking. I think they were granted a lower density for the parking, and that hasn't worked out real well for us. Up at Mount Olivet Cemetery, there's a place there that's for older folks, which is not that old. It's just 65 and above. And they got away with not having to have as much parking there because their argument was people 65 and older don't drive cars. And it's just ridiculous. So
it is ridiculous.
Now they're having just parking issues. When you go up into the place, you can see that readily. So we granted the developer the right to have less parking. And then, of course, they didn't put anything in their leases to limit the number of cars, and it's hard to visit people there. And now they need to figure something out with parking up there.
Yeah, and that's never good because it just spills out onto the throughway where, you're trying to get around that roadway leading back there. It gets a little congested as it is. And I'm very concerned about the South Street development and the terrace where Terrace Lanes used to be. I have no idea that I don't even know how many units are going in there, but it doesn't look like that's going to be able to handle it at all. And then where do those people park?
They're going to park in the neighborhoods.
They are.
That's going to be the issue. And when we talk about 15, we had some great news last week. We're going to move forward with the study to increase the lanes on 15. I'm like, that needed to be done 5 years ago.
10 or 15. I thought these studies were done before. I mean, what study do you need when you can't drive from 7th Street to the intersection of 70 any time of day? I'm not even talking. It used to be, if you got there about 3:30, you were stuck. Now I can't even drive on a Saturday at 11 o'clock to go maybe to Costco or Sam's Club or down that way. You can't even get by.
Well, think about this. On October 24th and October 25th are our two early voting days. The 25th is a Saturday. And then when November, when we have the election, people are going to have to go to one polling place right by Frederick Keys Stadium,
Right.
the Trinity School.
Right.
I mean, my gosh, it could be 20 minutes, a half hour for a lot of people if
Yeah.
they're going to drive to the polls. Now, everybody's assured me that we're all getting these mail-in ballots, a lot of which I think did arrive today. And that's the way to avoid it. You won't have to worry about driving in.
Yeah.
Just get those ballots filled out. And I mean that, whether you're voting for Michael, whether you're voting for me.
Right.
I really would hope that people would get the ballots filled in and turned in to the boxes around town or mailed in.
Yeah.
But we've got a lot of convenient places where people can drop those off.
Yeah. And I think, look, it's really important to participate in the election. Like you said, no matter, I think with the primary, I think it ended up eking out to about 20% of the Democratic voters or registered Democrats showed up to vote for the city.
Yes. So you think about that. That means 10% of our voters got to pick 5 of the 8 positions.
Yeah.
Already. Yeah. And then, that's shame on others for not stepping up, but that's it. I wish the independents at least were allowed to vote in the primary.
Yeah, I definitely think we need to do some. I mean, and this is definitely off track because I know this has nothing to do with the mayor, but we got to do something different. I don't like I almost wish we just had one day, everybody is in and you vote for the favorite one and that's it. I do sometimes think the primary system, it eliminates some people that maybe the independent voters really wanted. They can't even have a say in it. I don't like where we show up even in the general election, the primaries for the general election, because by the time it gets to Maryland, it's usually already all figured out. But that's neither here nor there. That's not for this discussion.
I'm hoping we could get historic high turnouts this election.
I hope so.
If we could get even to 30% of registered voters, it would at least make me feel a lot better. I know we're not going to ever get as many as in the general or in the presidential or the governor.
Right. And it is hard too when there's so many different things and they don't all fall in line with each other. All right, here's another big one. And a lot of this falls out of your purview, but being from the mortgage industry and you've had a career in that, how can or what do you think we can do about affordable housing in Frederick without the taxpayers bearing the burden of it, or just figuring out how we handle that? I mean, it's crazy everywhere, I know, but what are your thoughts on that?
So right now, for moderately priced dwelling units, the MPDUs, the developers pay a fee basically for the project, and they don't produce these units. And the reason they don't is because the regulations are so difficult surrounding those. And it's easier just to say, okay, this is my 12.5% fee. I'm going to work it in there. So, if we increase that, maybe it would make developers do more of the moderately priced dwelling units. Having said that, we've had a housing crisis in Frederick. It's been challenging for 25 years.
Yeah.
And we've piecemeal been able to put some things together, have some good projects that's helped out affordability. But one of the things is we've got this chunk of money. Let's figure out a way to use it.
Yeah.
Let's help people get in their houses. I'm really focused on people that live in Frederick City, being able to own their homes in Frederick City.
Yeah.
And also be able to work in Frederick City or nearby.
Yeah.
That way, the toll on our roads will be a heck of a lot less as well.
Yeah, I mean that's like, that's utopia. That is exactly what people want, I think, and that would be excellent to start leaning that way. All right, what do you think about and how do you with our the current administration? How do you attract these businesses that you're talking about to Frederick? Like, what are the tools that you have to use? And why hasn't it been done to now?
Well, in just the downtown district, we have a unique opportunity to fill in these second and third floors of these buildings. And we may have great stores and businesses on the first floor, but the second and third floors are underutilized. And that's going to require us to come together to get code enforcement, to get the permitting folks together. And let's figure out a way to make it simpler for the people that own the buildings to be able to get businesses or turn them into rental properties. Their studio apartments are the least expensive out there, and that would be a huge opportunity.
Yeah, I've talked to the landlord who actually owns where we are right now, and it seems sometimes burdensome with some of the regulations that she has to, navigate in order to make more space for, new companies, new businesses to come in. She's trying to actually expand in the back, and it's not an easy process. And again, I don't know how much of that you would have control over as mayor, but I think just trying to simplify for these new companies coming in, again, like you say, making it easier for some of the landlords to get these things done, to revitalize downtown, and just bring in thriving businesses, even like you say, corporate offices, office space. I mean, I think that would be fantastic.
Well, we need to get rid of some of the blighted properties as well. And by get rid of, I mean redevelop them, get business in there. Let's figure out how we can work with the owners and make things happen. And on the Golden Mall, again, we have shopping centers that are not connected that could very easily be connected if we just got people together to make it happen and made the process simple. Because it's only going to be helping the businesses in those shopping centers, the shopping centers themselves.
Yeah, and I am on the fence about the blighted properties. I totally hate having the blighted properties, and I'm just wondering. Well, I don't understand how an owner would have a business or have a building and not want it generating revenue. That's their deal. How do we walk that line? Because again, I'm kind of more libertarian, I think, in these thinkings. But
so you're thinking it's your property, you can do what you
kind
want
of, yeah.
I get that as well. And so we've got somewhat of a carrot and stick approach.
Right.
I don't know what the carrot is.
Right.
I mean, the stick is we can take you to court.
Sure.
Spend 8 years, and we're hoping in the next 4 weeks that the one infamous property downtown we win the court ruling. But it's kind of whether we win it or not, I'll guarantee it's appealed.
And it's just costing people money and time. And I have no idea that property. How long has that property been? Everybody knows what we're talking about too. But how long has that property been vacant?
My gosh, it's got to be 25 years. It seems.
It does seem. I think I was a kid when I wasn't even 21 when I think I last went into that place.
Right. Well, the permits are still on there from decades ago.
That is so disappointing. Yeah, so disappointing because it's right smack in the middle of Market Street and huge, front facing. That one is annoying, and I get it.
Well, that whole block has several fires. Excited to see about Firestone's. That property under contract.
I heard that. So happy about that. Who I can't remember who's coming in there, but it's very, very excited that they're under contract there.
Well, and one thing that we need to support that business and the others, you see restaurants now aren't opening for lunch. So a lot later in the day. And that's because we don't have the dynamic business, the robust business that we had 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And we need to be working to get more businesses downtown. We need to have businesses that are working with the city that may be out of county businesses to actually have physical facilities in Frederick. And we need to make them welcome, make it a simple process. And hopefully that put us back into what I would consider the thriving category.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of obviously downtown, and it's kind of going to be a core, even though Frederick City extends all the way down Rosemont. I'm in Frederick City off of Rosemont. It's quite a large area that entails a lot of things. But downtown obviously yells a lot. So they get a lot of attention. But one of the big sticking points about downtown with a lot of the merchants right now are these people coming up from Baltimore and DC, renting Carroll Creek Linear Park, having events, so they're not local, and a lot of the merchants down here feel like that is detracting from people coming downtown. And again, for me, this is I have no idea how to feel. I have a business downtown, and I hear what they're saying.
It's certainly valid. I have no doubt.
Some of it is valid.
The downtown Frederick partnership meetings, and it certainly is costing business. There shouldn't be a swap meet on the creek every weekend. When we first opened up where Alive at 5 is, that was designed for cultural events.
Yeah.
And not what I would consider flea markets.
Right.
And it is taking business away from our downtown merchants, and they're our bread and butter. They're the ones that are there 365 days a year.
Yeah.
And we need to definitely have more of a focus on that. The Downtown Frederick Partnership's done a great job of trying to change that tide.
Yeah.
And I look forward to working with them and our economic development people at the city to figure out where the happy medium is and get it back to what it was designed to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree with a lot of that. I don't know how you solve it, because I also think it's great to have different things going on downtown, on the creek. The creek is so beautiful. We all love it so much, but
we need to have other venues around town. And like the Golden Mile should be having festivals. I know they're planning things. It's just, we're going to see a revival there over the next few years. A lot of good things happening. A lot of things that should have frankly happened a long time ago as well. It seems like it's study after study, and then we start one thing and maybe finish it, or maybe finish it partially. And I'm excited to get that West Side Regional Park finally going, and think more things happening out there, more services.
Yeah, where's that one?
That's on the Golden Mile, Butterfly Lane.
Okay. Oh, right. Yes. Yeah.
And it's not just those areas. It's hard. When I think of Northtown, I think of Bloomberg, or Bloomfield, sorry.
Right.
And Warman's Mill.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that we're integrating our whole city, and they have events if they so choose or would like to have them.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see more of that, and not everything, still having a bunch downtown, but also focusing on other areas of the city.
Yeah. Well, probably another big thing people are thinking about going to the polls, especially recently in the news, is fiscal responsibility. And I know there's been some trip ups with the current administration and for me, as far as directional spending, it seems to be not transparent, and a lot of money is going out where we kind of find out after the fact or in the middle of the fact. What are your thoughts on how to rein in some of this exorbitant, what I feel is exorbitant spending?
Well, our property tax rate is gone. The rate itself has not gone up tremendously, but the revenue has, because the values have. So
this kills me, Tom. Let me just tell you.
I know. The budget's up 60% in the last 8 years. Our population's up 20%. And frankly, every time we hear about something, the mayor announces that, I've got an extra $1 million, and I've appointed these people to figure out where we can spend it to help with this problem or that problem, but I'm not even sure the problem's hit us yet.
Right. No, here's and again, I know this isn't yours to solve, but here's my big beef with property tax. I buy my house, let's just say it's $100,000 when I buy it. And I mean, we love Frederick, and a lot of people move here. And so now 5 years later, my house is worth $500,000. That value doesn't mean squat to me until I sell it. So what I don't like the fact that this is able to be adjusted, especially it's always adjusted up, never the other way that I've seen so far. Well, I should be locked in. I should be locked into my tax rate. I'm not using any more services. I have the same amount of sidewalk frontage.
I hear what you're saying. And it's the largest share of our budget each
year. I know.
And it's continually growing.
Yeah, of course it is.
But it won't. Yeah. It won't forever.
I know.
And I do agree with you.
Yeah.
The challenge is, if we budgeted for X amount of dollars from that this year, we should budget for the same amount, which would reduce the rate. Now, have you know that The mayor had an opportunity when the council said, all right, let's lower it a few cents. Everybody's taxes was still going up.
Right.
And then he negotiated back with them to do a lesser amount. And I think we've lost focus. This is the taxpayers' money.
Yeah.
It's our residents' money. And people on fixed incomes cannot afford these increases year after year after year.
No, we're losing good people. We're losing good people to West Virginia, Pennsylvania, because we're so close.
Delaware,
right.
Florida.
We're so close to all these places. Our talent is leaving because it's inaffordable. They cannot stay. And again, not your problem, but the state as well isn't helping. So, we are very blessed here in Frederick. We're kind of in this bubble that saves us a little bit of the pains of the economy just because of where we're located. And, we're lucky. We're lucky where we are. But it still doesn't mean I watch every penny that comes in and out of my family. I want my representatives to do the same thing. I want them to take my dollar and cherish it as much as I do when it leaves my check forcefully. And I want them to spend it responsibly. And I just don't know how we've gotten so far from responsible spending. And I don't like the fact that we never, ever seem to look at what can we cut and still have the same quality of life. I'd love to spend less.
Well, Ron Beatty had asked a couple of great questions at some of the forums. And one of the things that he was asking about was the communications budget and why it's gone up so much. Now, I'm all for communications, don't get me wrong. But the budget went up astronomically over the last 2 or 3 years. And we just don't get the answers, I'm sure.
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. Here's what I've noticed. And I love these people in the city of Frederick. It's not the people. This is nothing personal. I love all of you. You are my friends and I love you. However, when I know my tax-paying dollars are going to invest in and spend on a podcast studio with all the top of the line equipment, 3 full-time people, and I'm here doing what I'm doing and I am, funding it myself. That irritates me a little bit because what value is that bringing to all the taxpayers of Frederick City?
Well, it's not. I'm sure it makes for better news conferences and other things, but it's not part of the core government services that we need to be providing for all the people of Frederick. And I think that's been where we've fallen down is in the core government services, roads, parks, water and sewer systems. We need those keeping up with our growth. I'm going to make sure our infrastructure is reliable, safe, and ready for the future.
We got a comment on here. Someone says they got a code violation for the morning glories growing across the sidewalk with the threat of a fine in a week, but you have to have an empty rundown store on Front Market Street for 20 plus years. Well, look, I tell you this, 2 different things. And it isn't as if the city has not tried in many, many ways for many years to get the blighted properties taken care of. And most of them, if not all of them, are one owner, right? There's not many.
There's enough other ones out there as well, I can promise you. I'm reminded periodically as I've been walking around with the Trott for Mayor sign. The things I'm seeing.
Well, we do have a lot of young families moving in. That is one nice thing about having this shop on Market Street. A lot of them stop in here. We do get a lot of visitors into Frederick who love our town, and we love that too. I think that that's really great. So we are doing a lot of things right. And I think just with some minor adjustments, with some focus on some of the things you're talking about here, it can be even better. So tell me, when you're voted in, or if you're voted in, what are the 3 things you think would be top priority for you to focus on as you get into office?
I have a lot more than 3 things
I know you
to
do.
discuss.
I know you do. You can discuss as many as you like.
Well, one, I'd like to the cost of our election has gone up. The county couldn't support it like it normally because we're allowing non-citizens to vote. And I think the city council needs to look at repealing that portion of it. Then we can have the county run the elections. Hopefully it wouldn't have cost us too much more having it this way. Also,
sorry to interrupt. So explain this to me, because I don't understand all the stuff you just said. So typically in an election, the
county
absorbs.
Frederick County runs our elections. And we pay Frederick County for that.
Right.
But they weren't able to support us like they normally do because of the non-citizens voting, because they don't have a way to support that. And the numbers on that have been really small about the people that registered. So I'm hoping it's something that the city council considers removing. But one thing, if we're going to have 5 districts, then there should be 5 places for people to go to vote, 1 in each district at least. I'm negotiable on that, maybe 3, and we can fit them kind of between the districts. It's not fair for the people that are north and west of town to have to drive 20 to 30 minutes to get to the very edge of the city to go in-person vote. And I know people say, we like to do the mail-in ballots, and it is convenient. And my God, I hope you're all looking at them right now and filling them out and going to take them to the boxes or get them mailed in, because it is really convenient. It's a good way to drive up the percentage of voters. And like I say, my goal is to get us at least 30% this time. I'm hoping I'm inspiring some people to do that and actually fill the ballots in now and get them right over the polling place. I can't believe it's this far before the election and where they have their ballots and, 3 weeks to go. All
right. So what else are you going to do?
Well, we're going to be opening up. We're going to be focusing on the Golden Mile. I want that to be there to be a beautiful entranceway into the city. It's, whether it's an overpass that has "Welcome to the City of Frederick" or some type of underpass on the Golden Mile, it'll help with pedestrian safety. It'll be a challenging thing engineering wise, but that it's a welcome. It needs to be a welcome. So many people come in from off of 70 onto 40 headed eastbound, and I wanted to make that our gateway.
Gotcha. So coming where I call that the top end of 40. So when they're coming in that top end of 40, they're going to be welcomed to Frederick.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's we need to really be managing our growth. I feel like we've built without looking at the mile high picture, like I said. And we need to make sure we have city public infrastructure and police keeping up with that growth. I would pivot the city government back to focusing on core local government services, such as the police, public water and sewer, parks, and sound land use management and regulation, and municipal engineering. There needs to be an improved emphasis on big picture traffic studies. This congestion is ridiculous at certain times of the day, and it's not going to get any better. These programs that we're talking about are ones that aren't going to be implemented for another 5 to 10 years.
Sorry to interrupt you. Let me ask a question about that, because currently transit falls under the city of Frederick, right?
Frederick City Transit.
Right. And so currently that is run free of charge still, right?
Yeah, and there's county as a part of that.
So. I do think we have got to figure out public transportation in Frederick on a whole scale for the whole county as well. I think, again, if you want to alleviate traffic, you got to give people easy ways to get around that are, convenient as well. And I'm wondering, how we feel like we can look. Is that something that you would look at as the mayor or have input over?
Absolutely. I think the key is we need to get together with people and formulate plans. Back to Ron Beatty again. He had some great ideas about different ways. It's like smart traffic. Everybody has their phone in their car, so and they know where our phones are at all times.
Right.
So there are things that can be done that would help alleviate traffic, or at least identify the problem, so we can figure out how to alleviate the traffic. I would much more like to be seeing things more pedestrian friendly, of course.
Yeah, especially, in and around downtown, the Baker Park area, all of that, but walkable cities, even out where I am off Rosemont, having more walker friendly, and I know, previous have done a lot with the bikes and bike lanes and all of that good stuff. But yeah, anytime you can make it easier to get around, I think is better.
We need to get the bike lanes connected, and then the ones that aren't going anywhere just abandoned.
Yeah.
I know we're looking for certifications and congratulations from outside organizations.
Right.
But what I want is something that's actually working.
Yeah, functional. Right. Exactly. Yeah. All right. What else you got?
Well, as far as I've built several houses in Frederick, and you've had some really nice ones that blend in with the community. And I'm not going to get into architecture of some of the new buildings and new housing that's being built. What I want to have is the city be more business friendly. And that would be having the staff handling the processing and review of permit application and land use approvals back in the office full time, and not working as remotely as they are. The permits office closes at 2:00. It needs to be open, at least until 4:00. It's very hard for residents to get there and do the right things and get the permits. So, I'm looking forward to meeting with all of the department heads and figuring out what we can do to better meet the needs of our people.
Yeah.
There are a lot of sidewalks that need repair that are responsibility of the homeowners. And frankly, with the way taxes have increased, the homeowners cannot afford it. We need to have a program to help them rather than just fine them. And I have several ideas in that regard.
Yeah.
And that would be a great thing to make our city better, help people get around better, and not really cost the government much money.
Yeah. And I mean, I think I am all about public-private partnerships and using, private owned businesses and just finding ways. I know if you get creative, I mean, this is all I do all day long is get creative and try to figure out how to make things work within the limitations that I have. And I know that is possible as well. How many city employees are there?
That's an interesting question. I think we're in the 700s.
Okay.
But what I really wanted, I think we need to reevaluate our preference for residential development versus commercial development. We need more businesses.
Yeah. I agree with that. I hate when we lose opportunities to other communities, and think that if we did that, it would be beneficial for us all.
Well, we need to get some of these park projects off the drawing board and actually constructed. Stop the endless studies and consultant fees and get the parks built.
What is the holdup there? Is it really just kind of consultants have a lot of money?
No, we don't have a plan. We don't have a vision. We need a plan. We need a vision to move forward, and whether it's on the east side of town or whether it's on the west side of town or wherever, we need a true vision. And I think that's what we're lacking. I haven't been happy. I found a real estate deal that the city did back in 2022.
Yeah.
That on Monocacy Boulevard, we sold a property for $4.3 million. It settled February 28th of 2022. 10 days later, it sold for $19.1 million.
Yeah, I was reading that somewhere. What the heck? How did that happen?
The property was probably under contract for a while. I'm sure it was listed. Mayor O'Connor indicates that they did have an appraisal on it, which I'm sure they did, but that was an appraisal as vacant land. This is, an appraisal for what they wanted to use it for, which was biotech. And that's why 10 days later it went for, 19 million, and somebody made $14.8 million, and it wasn't a city. We do a police headquarters, which is absolutely beautiful.
It is.
I haven't gotten my complete tour. I'm planning on getting that next week.
Yeah.
But you go there, and the council approved 19 million in renovations also in 2022. And then we find out $28 million later, we have the police station.
Whoa.
And, if we had hired somebody outside to manage the construction, to manage the contractors, to manage the subcontractors, my gut tells me we're not going to have.
Hold on one sec. Hold on. Hey, Rand, his camera just dropped.
we're not going to have those type of cost overruns if we looked at outside managers handling that, or if we have hire the internal people that can do it and that be exclusively their job.
There we go.
Now, when you go to the police station, the police have to pull over to get into their gate. So they let the traffic go by, then they pull over, they block traffic on either Commerce Street or All Saints. They flash their card. We wait for a lateral gate to open. They get to go in. It is not, I'm sure that we're going to find some technology solution to help with that. But, out of a facility that was that expensive, it's appalling to me to have to be, well, I live on All Saints, so maybe. It just shouldn't be the way it is.
It shouldn't. It really shouldn't. I know. It's little things like that get, you find out later, I guess, too late. But hopefully that won't be too much of a burden. But it is a beautiful building, and I am glad that they're all in one place.
I am honored that our police department can work out of a facility like that. I really appreciate,
for sure.
Appreciate the fact of what they dealt with for all those years.
Yeah.
Had I been mayor, I would have really been looking at that Trinity site because it's something we already own.
Right.
And I've got to mention Jennifer Dougherty's idea of having a police kiosk on the creek. There's been a lot of vagrancy down there and a lot of issues with drugs. And I'm hoping we can find some good community solutions to work through those problems down there. And I'm sure we will. Yeah. Because it will be a priority for us.
It is a priority because that's kind of like the heart of our downtown. And you don't want people not to feel safe at, walking along, families and things like that. There's, we have so many amazing nonprofit organizations that are, doing the hard work, trying to help people. But, it just really, it does kind of put a little bruise on downtown Frederick when, you're getting
families won't go down.
Yeah,
there.
They won't go down there, and we need to do more.
Time and time again.
Yeah. What else are you hearing from voters? And then I'm going to give you like a 2-minute, just you say your thing to encourage people to get out and vote for you. But what else have you been hearing as you've been out doing the tour right now?
I love Frederick, and whenever I'm leaving the city, whether it's going to Stonegate or Amber Meadows or wherever, each area has unique set of challenges, and a lot of them just largely seem ignored. Or the people are saying they feel ignored. This is a problem. This is, I didn't get any solution. I went back this time, and I think we need to be more robust with the NAC meetings, but that's up to the people of Frederick to actually participate. I'm looking forward to getting those realigned with the legislative districts. And so those are relatively simple things to have fixed, but I think it's about Frederick coming together.
Well, I mean, I think that is, that might be the simplest thing, because in my day to day, I think Frederick is so supportive and wants the best. And I think once you ignite those things, you're going to get that response, which is great. And so I think that's probably the easiest thing to do. It's an uphill battle with some of these other things, but all right, I'm going to give you your kind of 2-minute spiel, your pitch to the people of the city of Frederick. And first of all, when the election is actually, the date is November 4th, November 4th, but in your hand. Yes.
Hold on. I just having one of those moments that I think I better look it up.
Okay.
Well, that may very well be the second. I think it's the second.
Okay. So don't wait till the 4th.
It is November 4th.
Okay. So you're right.
Sunday, get the gas in your car.
Yeah.
You're going to need it if you get stuck in traffic.
That's right.
Tuesday, November 4th. I've been focused on early voting.
I know you have, which is so important. Early voting is very important because there is only one location for city voting on November 4th. That is at the old Trinity School, which is at the corner of New Design and Stadium Drive, which is a city-owned property. And so everyone will be there. So if you don't want to wait and deal with the traffic, which I know hopefully there will be a huge influx of, because we're all going to go out and vote. You're going to want to go ahead and get your hands on that mail-in ballot, which came in today, you said, right?
A lot of people received them today. I didn't get mine, which I Michael and I had an event earlier today, and I asked him, and he said, "We held yours." I'm just kidding.
Right,
He
right.
did not say that. But we were getting to have a good laugh.
He's a jokester.
He
A
is.
jokester. But anyway, all right. November 4th, Tuesday, November 4th is our city election date.
And then early voting is same place, October 24th, which is 2 Fridays from tomorrow.
Okay.
And it's Saturday, October 25th. But what we saw in the primary election is that over 80% of the ballots were either mail-ins or were taken to the drop boxes.
Yeah, because what you saw with the actual voting machine counts really flipped everything upside down once all the mail-ins were counted and it certified the election. So
yeah, it took a lot of days.
It did.
We were just
hate that.
We were looking initially at just the day of voting,
right,
and then the 2 early voting days, and then it took a while to get everything else. And I hope it takes even longer this time because we're going to have a lot more ballots to count.
Yeah, I know. I do hate that it takes so long, though. I do hate that it's an election 10 days or 2 weeks, but that's okay. It's okay. We just want everybody to get their say, everybody to have their moment. And right now, I shall give you the floor, and I'm going to put you on the big screen here, and you're going to just give your plea to the city residents of Frederick.
Okay. I've lived and worked in Frederick since 1979. I'm a graduate of TJ High School and Towson University. Thank you. And I've spent over 35 years in banking and mortgage lending, helping families achieve their dream of home ownership. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not a politician. And we've had a history of mayors that have come up through the business ranks and been very successful. And I'm hoping that I'm going to be the next one that has that opportunity. As a small business owner and community volunteer, I've been on the boards of Heritage Frederick, Mount Olivet Cemetery, and the Frederick County YMCA. I'm a proud member of the Rotary Club of Carroll Creek, the Elks, the Redmond, and the Impact Club, because giving back matters to me. As mayor, my focus will be on the basics: roads, water and sewer, parks, and safety. I'll work to get the budget under control, lower our property tax rate, and make it easier to attract and retain and grow local businesses. Frederick deserves leadership that listens and leads. I'm Tom Trott, and I'd be honored to earn your vote for mayor, 1 Frederick. And thank you so much, Danny.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. Where can they go? I should have asked you this from the very beginning, but I'll make sure and share it out. What is your website?
TomTrottForFrederick.com.
TomTrottForFrederick.com. I am typing that in. We're going to have that on right there. TomTrottForFrederick.com. All right. That's where you can go. Do your research. Check the boxes.
You
Make
spelled
sure.
Frederick wrong there.
I did not.
I'm just kidding. It's a TJ.
It is a TJ thing. We're patriots all the way. I love it. But do your research. Really think about what you want for your family, for the future of Frederick. I really do think that the next 4 years are imperative for us to change maybe some direction and maybe look at some other opportunities for people. We also have...
It's time.
It's time. And so you have, you're voting for city council, right? And mayor. Those are
So there's 2 city council contests, and that's District 4 and District 5. Joe Atkins, TJ 81, and Rob Callahan in District 5.
Yeah. So the rest are uncontested. So if you're in District 4 or District 5, so District 4 is downtown, really, right? Downtown, out Market Street. Yeah, and then District 5 is kind of out near Whittier, Kellerton, Rosemont, that area. There is a contested election, so you might want to look at those candidates if you haven't already, and just make sure you're voting for the things that you feel like you want your location to be.
Well, I've had such an honor having my family, the boys, be able to grow up here. And they're both married now with kids. An expectant grandfather.
Hey, I love it.
Very excited about that, and just want to shout out to the whole community. And let's keep Frederick thriving.
Yes.
Frederick.
As I say every day, let's be great, Frederick, and we can only do that by utilizing these elections to do what we want to do. You got to show up, you got to vote, And, that's our duty, I feel like, and a privilege, a duty and a privilege for us. All right, Tom, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with me at Studio 401 North Market Street in downtown Frederick.
Your shop is beautiful.
Well, we're going to make sure and get you a t-shirt, another one on the way out. So then your next trip, you can represent the town that you love so much and how much you've given. And we're looking forward to November 4th, Tuesday, for the election for the city. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Appreciate it. I'm back on tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Good morning, Frederick. He's hitting me.
And good night, Frederick.
Yeah, and good night. Good morning and good night. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. right here where you're watching. I'll be on again. It's another great show. We have a great time. I'll see you later.